Good morning, Hank.
Hi, Stan. Who's that guy conducting over there?
Oh, that's my Valentine frog sitting on a praying mantis that's falling apart because none of the parts are glued.
What?
You asked what is that thing over my shoulder?
Yes.
That's a praying mantis, a 3D puzzle. And I have a green Valentine frog sitting on top of it.
So the green part is not the praying mantis. The green part is the frog.
Yeah,
What's the frog squash the mantis?
it's a couple of things I found and put together and collect decoration.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm back to the SCG background now, so it's official. Hey, Marty, good seeing you. Welcome aboard. You are muted, you realize. We can't hear you.
You can see my lips moving, huh?
That's right.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I came to see what the board meeting looked like.
Well, good.
Also, all sorts of boring stuff.
I
I think somewhere I have, yeah, there it is. The agenda.
Agenda. How are you, Stan?
Oh, just chugging along. My answer nowadays is I'm better than I'm going to be. Not as good as I used to be.
I like that, yeah. I know what you mean. I've been working on my DMV. I have to renew my driver's license.
Yes.
And everything's online now, so it's really interesting.
Well, that's one word for it, yes.
Yeah, well, better than being in person. I'd much rather do it from home.
Well, good. I'm glad it's working for you.
Well, so far, haven't got there yet. I want to see the writing, you know. I saw,
Hi, Marty, and everybody else.
Hello, Saul.
Morning, Hank.
Just for your information, Saul, I didn't need the thing you sent me,
I didn't expect you would.
but I'm thinking I might when I go back to Hawaii.
I don't know, you know.
Had that happened in the past when I changed places, the system doesn't recognize the IP address.
Yeah, that's what Judy Talor said. I'm not sure if that's accurate because I don't know that you experienced that when you change from one location to the other.
No, I didn't.
Right. So I think that's bogus is what I'm saying. But, you know, this comes down to bad implementation of so-called security.
Yeah.
The problem is John Kennedy doesn't want to loosen up the reins at all. He manages the Zoom accounts for APCUG, and he does a lot of positive things for them. Okay. I mean, he hosts their Zoom meetings, he moderates them, he does presentations, he does lots of stuff. All good. But when it comes to this stuff, it would be a lot easier on him to do this in a different way. And, I don't know, and I don't want to even broach the subject with APCUG, whether the email address used that you use is unique to the SCG, or if it also is used by other computer user groups. If it is unique to the SCG and they assign different ones to different groups using their Zoom account, all John has to do is set it up to forward to you. Not have to go through him, forward it to you. And then you don't have to go through him. Okay.
When I sign in to the ABSUG, the ABSUG 4 address
Right.
for Zoom or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
When I sign in there, I see, let me see. Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 different ABSUG Zoom meetings for 7 different groups, including us.
Okay.
And they all use this same, they can all use this same sign-in sheet.
I understand. I'm saying I think they could set it up so that it is a separate email address for each group.
Yeah.
And then the emails could just be forwarded to the group person, you know, whoever's in for that computer user group, and it wouldn't have to go through John. Anyway, enough said.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because no problem this week. So let's just hope that things stay that way.
Right.
Hello, Alice.
Morning, Alice.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, her Zoom is muted, and
I was going to say, I apologize for the lighting, but I'm not where I normally am. I'm hosting my daughter and granddaughter and 2 cats while they're waiting for a place to move in. So I'm kind of stuck in a corner. So at least I've got this much light.
Well, you're here.
That's why I decided better try early to make sure I could get in. And I'm glad that I made it that far.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being early.
I had some challenges last week, so I thought I'd better make sure.
Where I didn't understand what you said. Where are you and what's different?
Well, I'm stuck in the corner of my bedroom because my daughter and granddaughter and 2 cats are living with me until they can find a place to live. They were evicted because the landlord was selling their place, and they do have a place. I believe they'll be moving next week, but they were on a waiting list, and after 6 weeks, still no place to get in. So it hasn't been good. Reynolds and San Diego are out of sight.
You're in the same place you usually are. You're just a little squished, huh?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So the lighting is funny. I'm getting it only from one angle. It's kind of weird because if I open the window behind me, that's when I came on just all black. I was way too much light. The camera was picking up only the bright window. Technology is an interesting thing.
As is light.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, I was just watching a YouTube presentation on the different kinds of architecture in New York City. It was just fascinating. I just fell across it, and it described lots of different kinds of New York architecture, which are in big blocks of parts of the city. Things like a brownstone. A brownstone has a certain definition of how the building is constructed. And oh gosh, I can't think of all the names of the different types of apartments. But a lot of them had to do with how much light the apartment had. And I remember one of the descriptions, it talks about the fact that most of the apartment buildings in New York City, the main floor starts, 5 feet or thereabouts up from ground level. And the architect that was describing this said that was because of all the horse manure that was in the streets at that time when those things were designed.
Amazing what you can find on YouTube.
It really
That
is.
reminds me that the European style of naming floors, the ground floor is always ground floor. The first floor is what we would call the second floor.
One up.
Yep.
Yeah, you can, anybody done some searching on YouTube? If you search Hank Drayton on YouTube, you will find some interesting stuff. The Voyage of the Merciless Maiden, in which I be Captain Merciless, who be ye? And during which I said this was a show in the Hawaii Theater, oh gosh, 10 years or more ago. And several times my main line was, "To the ship!" Some of you might enjoy that if you
Yes.
just Googled Hank Drayton.
Do that.
Not Googled, YouTubed.
Yes, we understood. If you wish to make me a co-host, you're welcome to do so, Hank.
Sure. Let me see, where are you? There you are. I don't want to click the, miss the mute button and click the co-host button.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Hey, Paul. Paul, how's my good buddy Bob White? I haven't, well, I ought to call him, but how's he doing?
I haven't seen him lately because I stay home all the time, and if you, I can call him later, see how he's doing.
Yeah.
The last time I saw him at home with his daughter and son-in-law.
Okay, I'll give him a call. Try to remember today.
Yeah, if you can give him a call. He's always
It's important to keep in touch. People tend to get isolated, and then they get more isolated, and then they get more isolated, and pretty soon they disappear.
Another thing I saw on YouTube this morning was someone discussing the causes of depression. And he came to the conclusion that one of the major causes of depression was isolation. And one of the best solutions, join a group, set up a group, find a bunch of other people who are depressed and all meet somewhere physically if you can.
Yeah.
As often as possible, and you will get better.
Okay, well, it is the appointed hour, and I will technically open the board meeting, although I do not, maybe we have a quorum.
You're one short of a quorum, but let me look. Oh, no, you're good. Miriam's on and David, so you're good. You've got a quorum.
Is that 5? I put on the agenda that
You've
the
got
quorum
7
is 6.
now. You've got 7 now.
Okay, but I'm incorrect in that a quorum is 6. A quorum is 5.
Right.
And so anyway.
You're good.
Okay. And I call the meeting to order. And we have a few guests. Marty and Paul, I think, are our 2 guests.
And Dan. Oh, and Dan.
Oh, that's right, Dan, that's right. I keep forgetting to look at him because he's hiding his camera. Any proposed agenda changes? I've sent them out, and Miriam has a crossword puzzle going. I can see that. She's probably saving paper by printing on both sides. Good move. Okay. Minutes of the previous board meeting. I have them. I trust you all have them. I didn't see anything worthy of comment. Does anyone have any objections? Okay, I'll
To
call,
accept.
pardon me, Arlene?
And move to accept the minutes.
I
It's been
second.
moved and seconded. All those of accepting the minutes as presented, I'll say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstaining? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, President's report. Well, I got nothing. It seems to me we're settling into the new normal. I don't see any changes in the foreseeable future. I think our programs are going very well. And our Q&A, I think is very valuable. I mention it to others, and I encourage you all to invite other people. You can forward your invitation to anybody that you think might benefit from the group. And I just did that the other day, but he's not here today. But anyway, that's about all I got. Will Wakely has administration report. Do you have anything you would like to comment on?
You're muted, Will.
No, I have nothing right now.
Okay, thank you. Program report, Hank?
Just a fervent plea for suggestions for subjects for presentations. I have thought of one. I have a YouTube video that has been very well. By the way, I have over 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube.
Whoa,
Wow.
good.
Which,
Congratulations.
just amazes me. A couple of the most viewed YouTube videos that I've put together are how to attach a file to an email. And those get, and also, no, let's put it just that way. I am thinking of putting one together because I had to do it recently. I needed to send a whole bunch of files. They were in a particular folder, and I wanted the people I was sending this to have everything that was in that folder. And you can't do that. You can't attach a folder, an email, but you can zip that folder into a single file. Once you have that zipped folder as a single file, you can then attach that zip file to an email. So I'm thinking of making that as a new demonstration on YouTube, but I sure would like something else to build a presentation on. Anything that you all don't know and would like to know, or you just figured out how to do that you've always wanted to do, and whoopee, you can now do it. Please tell me about it.
I think what you just said is important because most of us know how to attach files, but there's so much more we could do and things that we don't know. So you take a very basic subject and expand on it. I think that's always good.
Yeah, show people how to zip a file.
Yeah, right,
do that.
exactly. Yeah.
David had his hand up also.
Yes, David.
One of the things that I have been recently trained how to do is to do the live streaming to Facebook from our church services. And I put together a list of instructions for me, but it might be interesting to see how to do that. The thing is, for me, I don't use Facebook. I don't have a Facebook account. The only one that I know how to use is my one at church. So we need to do a bit of thinking on that. But in fact, just the whole idea of doing streaming, how to stream an event would be an interesting thing. to talk about. I've also started to learn how to use the Open Broadcast Studio, which is a program for doing that. I'm pretty much a neophyte, but I can tell you what the interface looks like and how to do a couple things that could be something we could work on putting together.
I would be happy to work with you on that. I'm not qualified to give the presentation of as to how to do what you're talking about, but as you learn it, I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, and if people don't mind the stumbling, oh, this is what I'm trying to figure out, let's figure it out together kind of presentation, then in a couple of weeks we can do that.
That'd be great. All right, that's the end of mine.
Okay, thank you, Hank. Miriam, you have provided financial reports, which I appreciate. Would you care to take the floor?
You're muted, Miriam.
As I told you in my email, I provided 2 of the reports that I do every month. And since this is the beginning of a new quarter, I sent along what we used to call the Hank Drayton report, which is a means of identifying changes in our net worth very quickly. The only fiscal activity we had last month was 1 new membership minus the fee to PayPal. That was all that happened. The beginning balance was 4833.83, and the ending balance is 4848.04. That's it. Questions?
Applause.
I don't see a balance report.
I sent a net worth.
A net worth, yeah.
Oh,
Net worth is
okay.
the balance sheet.
Oh, that's a balance sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
I move that we accept as presented.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. We accept the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor of the motion, aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Back to Will for a membership report, which he submitted.
Yes, if I can get to share screen, am I allowed to do that?
Yes.
You are.
Okay, let me get to what I need to show. Just a moment. I had it up on my screen and now it doesn't want to show. Why not? Well, I don't understand why I can't get to it because it was up on my screen, but it doesn't want to do it.
I think I can find it pretty quickly. I could share my screen when I put it up.
Yeah, I don't know. This share screen, for some reason, I can't ever find the thing that I want to find on it. So
You have
anyway,
about 16 other things open right now, Will.
well, I do, but that one should be open also and show, but it doesn't for some reason.
There's
Sometimes-
very little change anyway.
Hank.
Sometimes I just share the entire screen and that way, whatever window I bring to the front
Yeah,
will show.
well, we have 41 active members and actually have 2 new members, one of whom is Marty Talar. Welcome, Marty. Glad to have you aboard. And I believe we have 9 life members at this point.
That's correct. That's what's on the report.
Okay. So that's my report.
Okay. Very good. Miriam, would you like
Yeah,
to comment?
I'd like to ask Will, as I said, I got 1 membership amount through PayPal, but you say we have 2 new members. Was the last one very late in the month?
No, the last one was quite a while ago, and it was
Samantha.
Samantha. Yeah, you already had her.
Oh, I already had her
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Here's Will's report.
Okay. Oh, yes. All right, he's sharing that now.
Yes.
Um,
Part of it is still blocked out, but
Yeah, it needs to,
if you just scroll up a little bit on the image. There,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hank.
Hank may have the live transcript showing. If he could hide his subtitles, it might get rid of one of those blocks.
Yeah, there.
Well, I think we have the information anyway.
Yeah,
Okay, we got that. Thank you.
Old business.
Old business. Anybody would like to bring up something? No matter of old business and moving on to new business. All right. I think I'd like to move on to directors at large comments and ask individuals. Ray Slater, do you have any observations?
I'm just glad to see that Hank doesn't have an issue with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen to that, brother.
that's good.
yeah.
So
Okay, Arlene?
Nothing special. I'm still helping out with people who have issues with their Android phones and occasionally with iPads.
Thank
Very
you for that.
good.
if you learn anything interesting about those issues and how to fix them, even if you would not like to explain it yourself, tell me what the subject was, tell me what you learned, and we'll make that into a presentation.
Okay, one of the most useful things is getting rid of all the stored pages, all the cached pages,
Mhm.
so that the iPad runs more quickly. Once you learn how to do that, it's not an issue anymore. And you do it by double clicking the home button and then just swiping away all the pages until you have a clear screen.
That
Well,
would be a great thing for you to show us at some point in time.
yeah, and I could not participate in that, not having an iPhone, but several
Um,
here do. And
since-
if that's an interesting subject, someone like or Saul could certainly do a presentation on it.
Okay, I
So-
haven't figured out how to do it since I'm Zooming with you on my iPad.
Okay. So okay, do you know how to share on Zoom an iPad screen so that we can watch a live demo?
I have a
There-
button that says share comment.
There is an
Content.
app, David, there is an app similar to what you do with Android-based devices. I don't recall what it's called right now, but there's an equivalent one for iOS devices.
The one I use with Android is called AirDroid.
Right. So it's something comparable to that. And it's been, my memory just doesn't bring it to mind right now because I don't use it, but that's what's used equivalently. And what Arlene is, I think just to translate what she's talking about, by the way, is you have many apps that you can have open simultaneously on a device, particularly mobile devices in this case. And you might want to just close each one to free up resources on the device so that it can pay attention to what you want to use it for, instead of having them constantly running in the background because you opened them days ago.
And
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
also true with Android stuff. And so, maybe we could do a tag team, one side Apple, the other side Android.
That'd be good.
Sounds to me like it's the David and Saul show.
Right.
Well, so
Remember Huntley Brinkley?
Okay, that's a good transition to David McCall as a director at large.
Yeah, I say the main thing that I was thinking of was I've been getting trained up on doing these live streams to Facebook. And it's a little bit of a process, but it's a way of taking an event like this and making it, stream live for people that want to do that. It's also, you can also, and once you've done that, once you've done it streamed live, it sits on your Facebook page as a recording for people to go back to whenever you want. So I'm going to start thinking about that as to see if I can do it without being on the computer at church where everything's all set up.
Okay, thank you, David. Jim Fugacci.
Is my voice carrying over?
Yes.
Excellent, very well.
Okay, thank you. Hank was looking for subjects, and I just wondered if he might want to do a subject on the green button down the bottom center that says share screen.
Maybe I already have. I need to go look.
Okay, that's all.
Or sometimes these presentations need to get updated because Zoom changes what things look like and where buttons are.
Amen. I've got some ancient presentations in my list that I need to do over.
Okay, Saul, do you have any observations?
Nothing specific, but tagging on to what Jim was talking about and what I violated my own rule yesterday in a meeting was when you are sharing a video in Zoom, before you run it, ask people if they can see it on the screen. Because it was running for a few minutes and people were just chatting in the background. And then I realized they weren't seeing what I thought I was presenting.
All right, thank you, Saul. I would like to invite Marty to introduce herself, and because she's a new member, she's a walkabout person who received the SCG invitation through Walkabout and felt strong enough about it to cough up some money and pay for it. Marty.
Well, I did introduce myself one time, but I recognize almost everybody here. And it's interesting to see, who's a board member. I don't know. Is everybody a board member, Stan?
We have a few guests here. Paul Mack is not a board member.
You know what? Let me, if you want, Stan, let me just quickly run over that for her. She might appreciate that.
Yeah,
Because
please.
what we have, Marty, is Stan is the president, Will
Right.
Wakely is vice president, and Hank Drayton is vice president of programs. Then Alice King, myself, I'm secretary, and Miriam Davis is treasurer. And then we have 5 directors at large, and those are the ones that just spoke to us.
Yeah, good. And so my background is accounting, and I worked at the University of California in administrative work. So I love the computer, but I'm not that familiar with Zoom. I don't belong to any other groups. I haven't gone to the Walkabout Zoom thing. I have done it with like church things. And so anyway, it's fun for me to just learn more. And Hank's presentations are great. I looked at a few of those, so that was great.
Marty, are you a Mac user or a PC user?
Mac.
You're a
So
Mac
I
user?
got a new iMac. I
Okay.
used to have the PC, and I didn't like they were sending me stuff all the time and updates, and I didn't like their thing. So I got a new iMac, and I have a cell phone, that I don't use that much, but a little bit. So
Marty, you are one of our people that has a foot in both worlds. And at some point, you can tell us how you like the transition and what you find better and worse and just plain confusing.
as long as it works, when I ask it to do something, I'm happy. And I don't know that much about what's going on, but I just try to muddle through.
It is interesting having both, because I use the Windows for work and have a desktop here at home, but everything else is iPad, iPhone. So, you know, you kind of, I agree with you, you know which ones work and use that.
Yeah, University of California is almost all Apple. And so
Really?
I was using that at the office and then I was doing the other at home, but and then I keep muting because we have so many airplanes in my area. So that's why I keep turning it off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for
Marty.
doing that.
Yes, thank you. I just want to mention one thing about board members is we have a vacancy for a vice president for publicity. And I'm just tossing that out there. One other thing I'd like to remind you of before we go to the Q&A is, as a few of us have renamed ourselves to indicate our area of familiarity. For instance, Hank and Will and I and Jim have indicated we work in the Win 10 or Win 11, and I added that I'm working with Android. So that's particularly handy in the Q&A session when it becomes clear what system the individual is familiar with. And so I'm moving forward. I think we have achieved a record of a 25-minute board meeting. Hank, would you like to say something?
Yes. Marty said that she didn't know Zoom well. I just want to offer that on my list of mini seminar number C51, C for Charlie 51, which you can find on our website by going up to resources, is entitled Zoom Tips and Tricks, and it might help you.
Thank you, Hank. Our next meeting is August 13th. And it will be handled the same way with the AppSug Zoom account. Of course, we have weekly meetings, and see you there. I'll close the meeting and turn it over to Hank and Will for Q&A.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to inquire, we have a person by the name of Verena on, and I don't recognize your name, Verena. Could you tell us who you are and how you got involved?
Where? Who? Verena.
Verena, I believe.
V-E-R-E-N-A, yeah.
She's muted.
Verena, can you unmute yourself? Anyway, in any case, welcome to our group, and glad to have you with us. I need to leave, and I'd like to turn the Q&A over to Ross Malloy for the Windows area. Ross, can you handle it? I'm sure you can.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, folks, but I have to leave. I have something else going.
Aliens must be landing.
Okay, so what are our questions this morning?
Alice has her hand up. Go, Alice.
Okay.
I have an interesting question. I like to watch on the streaming KUSI News, and I've never had much trouble, but just today is the worst case. But what's going on when I try to go on to watch it and it says that an error has occurred and it won't let me on? I tried it on my iPhone, my iPad, and then I came in and tried it on Microsoft, and I still got the same error. Is there something that I'm doing that would block that, or is that coming from KUSI?
So I'm going to KUSI right now. The web page comes up. If I go to play a video.
Now, it might be different now because the news is over. I think, well, no, they're on till 11.
Okay, so I was able to play a video on KUSI.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can play videos. It's just getting it live. So there's something
live. Okay.
Now let me ask you this then, Ross. It down at the bottom, it's always said this and it never was a problem. It said you have to turn off the ad blockers in order to watch this. That-
Okay,
So how do you turn off the ad blockers?
depends on what ad blocker you have under what, if you haven't added any and you're running straight Safari, then you
Yeah.
shouldn't have any.
Okay, that just proves that that's what I've had in the past. Okay. Great.
Other than restarting your computer as always.
Yeah, right. I tried that too. So anyhow,
Okay, so I'm not, where live feed, if I go to home,
right. And then you have to watch.
watch live feed, I see.
Right, right. It's worked for several years now. Just for today, it was giving me trouble.
Okay, well, I have an ad blocker. Let me go over here to another browser that I do not have and see if it comes up.
When you go to that live feed, is that a form of streaming?
Yes.
So what kind of streamers do you use, Alice?
Well, it's kind of interesting because that's really one of the few, because otherwise what I use, I very rarely watch live TV or anything, but I am part of my daughter's account for YouTube TV, and they do not carry, the local channels. So they don't have KUSI live. So I just listen to, I just get it, the streaming.
So I'm used a different browser that I know does not have a pop-up blocker in or any ad blockers, and
Okay.
I'm not getting any live feed.
Okay, all right. That just confirms it. That because I've got several sources, because I went to different browsers as well. Okay,
Right.
great. Thank you so much.
Barb? You're still blocked. Audio.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, my problem is, what is the difference between connecting with the internet and connecting with Wi-Fi? And can you be connected to both of them?
So connecting to Wi-Fi means it's a type of connection to a network, and that's through the air wireless. So if you have a wireless network in your house and you connect to that, then you could see other devices in your house, but that doesn't particularly mean that you're connected to the internet. So if you're then using that network connection, wired or wireless, and also have it set up to go to the internet, then you're using Wi-Fi connection, and then you're to the local network, and the local network then connects to the internet through your modem/router from the internet provider.
Okay, because I'm still having trouble with my other computer. The internet the connections keep going on and off, and I still haven't worked out what the problem is yet. So
the easiest way to troubleshoot to begin with is if you possibly have a long enough wire to wire
I've got that. Yeah,
And
yeah,
does it
I've
go
done
away
that.
then still?
Still,
Okay, then there's a problem in the computer.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Any suggestions how I can track that down?
I would try, the easiest is to get a USB to network connection. Wired would be my preferred, but you can also get them wireless. So if you say long-term, I really want to have a wireless connection for this computer, then for $20 or so through Amazon, then you buy a USB to wireless connection. Netgear makes them, TrendNet makes them. And again, it should be in a range of less than $50, $20, $30 most of the time. And then you can configure that, and that would be coming up as another network connection. So when you install that device, plug that in, it should pop up and then auto configure. And then you should be able to click on that connection and say, here's my Wi-Fi name and Wi-Fi password, and then be connected. How old is the other computer?
The one that's not working quite right is probably about 4 or 5 years old. It's not really old.
No, it really isn't.
No.
But it all depends on what you has going on in that computer. So if it's is pausing, let's say, doing something else.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's been working fine just the last couple of weeks it started acting up, so.
Restart the computer is the best I can always suggest to do something if you haven't already.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll give that a whirl and see what happens. Thank you.
Who else might have a question?
Nobody has any problems.
Hey, wow. Oh, here's Dan.
Josh.
Mr. Dan.
I would ask Barbara whether she had a wired connection already on that computer before she goes out and buys a
Yeah, I have got a wired connection.
wireless.
Oh,
wireless connection.
Wireless. Yeah, it works intermittently when I plug in the wire. When I take the wire, disconnect the wire, it doesn't work at all. And it's only about 5 feet, 6 feet. It's not a long distance, the wire's going.
Do you know how to bring up the task manager?
I think so.
So if you go up to task manager and see if the computer is busy, you can look under performance there and see. And if your computer is running more than say 30, maybe as much as 40% utilization, then something's going on. A virus scan, update, something is going on, and that will cause the computer to hesitate. And that may be what you're seeing.
Okay.
And in that list of the task manager, it'll show you what it is that's using how much of what. There's also a tab in there for network, and you can go in and see how much information is being used for the network at that time. And so if you see something that's 5 or 6 megabit, that's quite a bit. So you need to find out what it is that's trying to do that. I've seen Windows updates causing similar type problems where the update keeps trying and trying and trying and trying and can mess up your day-to-day operations.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thank you.
David.
One other suggestion is sometimes if you have 2 network interfaces and you want to use just one, turn the one you're not using off so it doesn't try to make a connection. Because I was just wondering if there's one that keeps trying to make a connection and it keeps flipping over, then it dies out and then it flips back and you keep losing stuff. I mean, yeah, if I want to have one connection, I turn off my other interfaces. So
but she has the same, I agree with you on wireless. So if you have a strong wireless connection or another one that's competing, then yes, it can try to bounce back and forth between those two. But when she goes to a hard wired connection, that generally overrides and won't let the wireless come into play.
So should I be disconnecting the which one? The Wi-Fi?
You can, if you go down to the network connection on the lower right,
yeah,
and right click there, if you're in the Wi-Fi, it'll show you an option called airplane mode.
Okay.
Click on airplane mode, it turns off all wireless connections.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll try that too.
The other thing you can do is unplug your router.
Well, that would certainly make sure she's not getting to the internet.
Oh, well.
Well, if she has a wired connection that comes.
It's usually coming to the same box though.
That's how she would get to the internet, is through that box, sir.
So if you unplug your router,
you're done.
You're
out of luck.
Unless you're wired directly from your modem.
So your wire generally would come from the router.
The router.
Yeah.
You go from the modem to the router and the router to everything else. Can you directly connect to the modem? Yes, but then it's kind of the question, why do you have a router?
Yeah, well.
But if the router is the problem, that gets it out of the system.
If you change your wired connection, which she's now getting intermittently from the router to the,
the modem.
It comes from, if you change that to the modem instead of the router, and then things change.
Yes.
Then that would be a good troubleshooting.
Yes.
data.
Okay,
So
okay,
most
Work
of
through
the,
it.
when you're calling up and saying, I'm having trouble with my internet connection, most of the companies will want you to be directly connected to the modem, not to your router, because
Oh.
they did not sell or configure that device for you. And that's when they come out and test it. If they can get it to work to the modem, they're done. It's your responsibility for the router. But most people then just have a wireless modem router from the internet provider. They don't buy your own router much anymore. You can, but most people don't. So then it's just one device that you have that comes from the internet provider, then to give you your internet on the other side of it.
okay.
The other thing that if you do have a separate modem, you can also you can reboot either the modem or the router, and sometimes that clears up problems to reboot
Sure.
those devices.
Yeah.
I see I've got a busy afternoon.
You've got lots of suggestions.
I sure do. Thank you,
I hope there
everybody.
wasn't anything else you wanted to do today.
Priorities.
I'm just glad that your computer does work to get you to the meeting.
Well, this is the other computer. I've got two
Yeah.
PCs, so the other one works fine.
So that's also another good indication that the problem is within
With
that
the
computer.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you were having trouble with network connection, wired, wireless, that would be for all your devices. Since
Right.
that one computer is having an issue,
Yeah,
It's the most likely suspect.
right. Okay, thank you, everybody.
We all probably learned something in the process. That's why so many of us come to this Q&A session. Any other hands? I don't see any. You could wait.
so the only thing I'd like to remind people, I know we've all talked about it before, but I still get phone calls and still help people that get trapped. If you get a phone call, an email, a letter that's asking for money somewhere along there, it 98.89% false. Please try to go the other way around. Assume that it's wrong, it's bad. If you really need to prove that it's really who it is that they're saying. So if you're getting something that says, oh, your bank account or your email or then you go directly to that provider through their website that you already have, not a link in the email, or when you come up with the call, or your computer is beeping at you saying, you've been compromised. People have taken your information. You're losing all your money. Turn the computer off, turn the computer back on again, and 99% of the time, it all goes away.
And if you get the phone call that says, hi, Grandpa, this is your grandson. I'm in jail.
Yep. They took down a group of the guys that did that this last week.
Oh, great.
I solved it one day by simply saying, what's your sister's name? Or, what a
Well, again, you are assumed that it's these guys are false, and you do ask them a question that they would have to know.
Yeah. Hello, Alice.
Hello.
Oh, no, you just made a noise. And you're
I
so,
have an observation on the scam calls. My preferred method is guilt. I ask them, does your mother know what you do for a living?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I know there's people in the group that like to play with the people on the phone, and just get them tied up. And I've heard of other guys in my other computer group that say they do that because that way they think they're saving somebody else from being scammed, because as long as they're on the phone with him, then they're not scamming somebody else. To me, it's kind of like saying, I'm going to go to Vegas and win money. And I know how to do that, and I'm going to win. You know, you're going into this, how many multi-story building and lots of plush environment, and you say you're going to win? Kind of don't think so. If you go in there, you're going to get conned and lose your money somehow.
Who's the rookie in this situation?
That's kind of it.
It's like the automobile warranty scam.
Oh, I'm so tired of that. Oh,
They make their money somehow. How do they make
that's right.
paying out less than they take in? Okay, that's probably enough philosophy for today. I see nodding of heads. Anybody, any last words?
Do we have any Mac questions?
We will see you next week, and I hope that I will have lots and lots of phone calls and emails and suggestions on what we're going to talk about next week. See you.
And everyone have a good week.
You too. Yep.
Here, here.
Bye.